Hello everyone. Gosh, this is the first for me being in front of a telephone camera and doing a design. I've only just mastered being behind the telephone, showing everybody the gardens. But it's Chelsea Flower Show week this week, and on our Friends of Nafas Facebook group, we've asked our members to share their memories of their involvement over the years with the Chelsea Flower Show, and that's what we're going to see. And I'd like to share a bit of my involvement with the Chelsea Flower Show. My design today for you is just really going to be simple. It's going to showcase the flowers and foliage from the garden, and the garden's looking beautiful, and I've got the wisteria behind me. I'm in the conservatory. So I've started off with the Fatsias, japonicas and some ferns. I really love it when we can utilise the hostas and the ferns. And I'm going to put in some hosta blue umbrella, particular favourite of mine. So we have lots of involvement with our members with the Chelsea Flower Show, as well as our NAFAS members, the National Association of Floral Arrangement Societies. We have members who are in the Trinidad and Tobago, RHS, Royal Horticultural Society, Barbados Horticultural Society, and we have members from Australia, and they've all showcased the fabulous native flora from their countries there over the years. Some of the lovely Polygonatum, or the Solomon's seal. I want to sort of create a shape of a silhouette, the outline of a flower, and just filling it in so we can see all the different portions of the design. Put these facing the opposite way to what they normally grow, because on flowers we have the guard petals and the sepals that sometimes are outside of the true petals, just protecting them a little bit. So a little bit of history for you. Nafas was the first area of Nafas to be involved with the Chelsea Flower Show was in 1977, which was Her Majesty the Queen's Silver Jubilee. And the then 20 areas, the 20 regional areas of Nafas, were put into a hat to be drawn out to represent Nafas at the Chelsea Flower Show, and the Northwest region was pulled out. And so in 1977, I know 3 members of the Barrow in Furness Flower Club went down to London, and their title that they depicted was the Queens of Britain. And I have seen some gorgeous pictures of the designs that they did, wonderful, marvellous pedestals. And there was Lady Redshaw, was a member of that team, and there was Marjorie Devenold and Joan Ward. Some Deutzia cross rosea. So it came round to the time for the Northwest to represent Nafas again, and that was in the 90s, and their title then was Tea House of the August Moon. I'm putting in now one of my favourite foliages, the variegated horseradish, and this is virus. It comes up different each year. It has varying amounts of green in it. Of course, the green is the proper plant that will photosynthesize and make the sugars to actually feed the roots. The cream being dead cells is the variegation in the plants. That doesn't make any food whatsoever. And I've placed at the top for my height a lovely allium nectascoridum, and that used to be called Allium bulgaricum, and it has these beautiful deep peach, pendulous flowers. So in the 90s the area depicted tea house of the August moon, and just like the very, very first design in 77, they achieved a well-deserved gold medal. And I remember seeing pictures of that fabulous design, and it was a stilted tea house made out of wood with beautiful climbers and vines wrapping around it. And Anne Stott created two really awesome peacocks, which were completely made out of plant material. They were really, really stunning. Some delphiniums. Now they are from the garden, yes and no. I do grow one plant in the greenhouse, and these are from the greenhouse. I force them out. In our garden in Cumbria, they're just in tight bud, and I usually use these to use in my demonstrations, but sadly we all know that's been cancelled because of the virus. I came across this at the Chelsea Flower Show in 2011, and that was the third time this was my involvement with the Chelsea Flower Show. And hard to believe that 10 years ago I was the regional chairman, and we were thinking of what we could do, something special for our golden year, 50 years of the Northwest. And so we thought, if we would ask NAFAS if we could, again for the third time, represent them at the Chelsea Flower Show, that would be a wonderful thing to do. So I asked my friend, who was the national chairman at the time, Valerie Best, and they agreed, along with the directors of NAFAS, to let the Northwest portray and represent NAFAS at the Chelsea Flower Show. This is Mathiasella bleupleuroides, green dream. Bit of a mouthful, isn't it? A long name for a plant. It's absolutely beautiful. Saw it in 2011 when we were there, and I had to get it for the garden. I think everybody who loves flowers loves green flowers. It's a stoloniferous perennial, and it is hardy as well, so it will stay in your temperate garden. And when you cut the stem, it smells very sweetly. So we set to, and we got together. We chose as our team leader a wonderful designer par excellence, and that was Anne Coulton. And she is the holder of 2 gold ribbons, not just one, but 2. And you get a gold ribbon when you receive 3 consecutive first prizes at a national floral competitions. So we were really in good hands from the start. And we got together, a team of 10, and we decided to go with recycling. And that was topical back then, 9 years ago. And honestly, it still is topical today, isn't it? I added some heavily scented lilac right into the centre of the design. And our title to depict was Would You Waste? And I'm going to use some wood in my design. I've got knitted paper. can't remember where I bought it from. It's something that I bought and have kept in my barn along with 2 other stables full of floral art materials. You never can have too many. So that takes the cream from the horseradish right down through to the front of the design, and it incorporates a bit of what we were about. I want to put in some more paper, and this is packing material, and it is serrated, and I just love the texture of this. I'm going to scrunch it up. I think it probably, if I close my eye and half looked at it, it maybe looked like snakeskin. So the main bit of our 20-foot circular design, we wanted to recycle driftwood, and we went as a team down onto the shores of the River Ribble in Lancashire, and we picked up the most beautiful pieces of driftwood, and they were bolted together, and we created a tree, a 17-foot high tree. It was really very wide as well, about 14 to 15 foot wide. And we wanted a tree that had been hit by lightning, and so it was dead. And then we had along the branches portions and coming back to life with the beautiful flowers. And using the palette, actually, what we have now, naturally in Lancashire and Cumbria, in the gardens, we've had the palette of the whites and the yellows in March and April, the snowdrops, aconites, and the narcissi. And now the dominant colours in our gardens are the blues, the pinks, and the lavenders. And those are the colours that we used along with white and green. And we had an old rusty oil drum which was cut half open, and that was swung with rusty chains on the bow to form a garden seat. So it was a garden all around that people could walk. My portion that I had to do with was like a little dell and an herbaceous border, so I used the delphiniums and the foxgloves, which I've used in here. We also used plastic bin liners, and it was a big thing back then. Plastic, it still is, isn't it? And these were cut into ribbons by the ladies and knitted, not purled, knitted. And then they were flattened and sewn together. The way they were flattened was they were put between 2 sheets of brown paper, and then on an iron on a very, very, very low setting, and then they were all stitched and sewn, and we had those among the boughs. And we also had dried the circular tea bags, and we'd taken the tea, after we had a cup of tea of course, out of the circle, and they were all dried, very, very low heating in an oven, not for so long, and then they were scrunched up, and they actually looked like fungus, bracket fungi, and those were used in the designs as well. An allium that really, really does very well for us here is the Purple Fantasy allium. And this takes the purple from the foxglove on the right to the centre and the left-hand side of the design. We also had on the garden swing, we had cushions made out of leaves, fresh leaves, the Stachys byzantina, and they really looked fabulous. The Pimpinella major rosea, a hardy perennial, or the pink cow parsley. So I think I've kept you waiting as to whether we actually received what colour of medal. We all wore the waistcoats of the knitted finliners, and you know, 10 years on, it still fits me. Probably still trendy looking even today. So yes, we managed a third gold for the North West Area. We were really delighted. So I hope you enjoy this week on our Friends of Nafas Facebook group. There's lots of stories, lots of designs, garden walks, and search it out, and I'll leave you with my garden flowers and foliage design.